We've done it. We've gone live.
We did it again.
The technology works.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another chat on the Stay Gold channel, the Stay Gold stream. Working our way through Tarantino still. Got another movie chest coming. So, yeah, I mean...
super interesting movie chest at that. I mean, you two over there. I mean, I don't know where they're at on your guys' screen, but they're on the right of my screen. What are you guys doing to us?
Listen,
I was gonna send a text earlier today that I'm just like, I don't think I can pick in the movie chess picks anymore. Like, I don't think I should be allowed to pick anymore.
Just get like one or two.
Yeah, right. I just get like less picks.
Done, so.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get a stinker in there every once in a while, right? And just shake it up.
Hey, with a cast like that, I thought we could do no wrong.
Right?
You know?
Like,
you'd think
the
it's
cast,
good.
Yeah.
Well, let's just get into Swordfish, right? Let's get this one out of the way before we talk Tarantino, right? This was not my pick, so somebody else has to intro this shit.
Well, actually, I do have something I want to say. My mother has recommended and influenced my movie viewing for a long time, since I was a wee lad. You know, Goodfellas, one of her favorite movies, plays all the time at our house growing up. Casino, any gangster film, really. Heat, Al Pacino and De Niro, you know, they're staples. This was also one of those that she would just have playing all the time. And she would be like, I really like this movie. And as a kid, naturally, I was like, yeah, cool. Rewatching it now, though, yeah.
It's a different experience.
It didn't age well.
Yeah.
A bit dated, maybe.
Yeah.
My mom, she has some good picks, but she's also got those bad picks too. So
yeah, I mean, like, you think it was just like fueled by nostalgia or something? I mean, like, for instance, like back when we all watched like Tombstone, that's like a movie like I watched on TV when I was a kid, and I feel like that's kind of like fuels why I like still find it, I don't know, interesting or funny, whatever adjective you want to use to describe it, how I feel about it, I guess. Like, I don't know. Do you think it's like a similar situation to that, or like?
It's gotta be.
The problem with this one is that it's so bad that it's like, I don't know, there's no redeemable qualities. Like Tombstone is like schlocky and hammy, but it's self-aware enough to where it's acceptable, in my opinion. This one is like they're taking themselves seriously by starting off the movie with a monologue from John Travolta about
basically
bad
some
movies.
like meta shit. Yeah, right. Like
it's like, did he know this when he made this movie?
You know, it goes back into it at the end of the movie too, I'm pretty sure, right? Like,
they talk about it again. I missed that.
Just John Travolta voiceover. Maybe you guys all had tuned out by that point. I thought it came up, but I had tuned out too. So like,
yeah, I mean,
talking about Dog Day Afternoon, an actual good movie, and then I don't know.
I'm pretty sure this movie was made like because the scriptwriter put that scene in the first scene. Like it's like the script was like bouncing around Hollywood. And then some executive picked it up and was like, Al Pacino was the best in Dog Day After. This guy knows what he's fucking talking about. This seems pretty interesting. All right, let's make it. You know, like, that's what this movie feels like to me. Like, because that one, like, clearly the scriptwriter put it in to, like, get the movie made. Or to, like, get an executive to read it. I don't know. It was just, like, sad.
Yeah, at least the first 10 pages, that is.
Right. That was
and then they completely stopped reading it afterwards because
like action, cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Car chase, bust in air. Oh fuck yeah.
Hackers.
Ball bearings flying through windows.
Human claymores.
I was the slow-mo explosion that plays in like the first 10 minutes or whatever. It feels like it's like the highlight feature scene of the movie in the first 10 minutes or whatever. But like it was cool.
Heavily focused in the trailers, probably.
Oh, you're right. It sold the movie, I'm sure. Like
slow-mo.
It was pretty. I mean, it was kind of goofily executed a little bit along the way, I thought, with like the sound effects or whatever. But you know, it was cool.
Like, I thought it was a little like, I don't know, it was a little heavy-handed in like the cutting from CGI to like, you know, everything speeds up and kind of like, you know, I don't know, like you could like tell it was like a hard like wipe cut.
Yeah, it's kind of like a joke. I was like how it just cuts to like so fast.
Yeah, but it was like it did capture your attention. So unfortunately, I just had a hard time keeping it because the writing was so dog shit.
What? You didn't like the
Yeah.
fucking male fantasy scene with the dude getting his dick sucked while he was hacking?
Was trying to hack
60s
into the defense department.
Like, I was like wondering, like, how much of this like actually is realistic, like hacking wise. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about hacking, but like, is any of this like,
I think
like
this is
what is
well
up with
known
the
as
fucking like you walk into like a 7 monitors sitting
not
at a
just
desk or whatever.
I thought about that
Like,
too.
why? Like,
can hack in individually to the fucking.
yeah, like what the fuck? Like, it's just one computer. Who gives a shit? Like,
It's got
I
the,
don't
but it's
know,
got the ring that can go through all 7. Holy
like
shit,
what the
dude!
fuck? I don't know. Just,
Yeah. I think this is honestly
ridiculous.
like notorious for being one of the worst like displays of hacking, at least in the early
Okay, gotcha.
stages.
I didn't
but-
do any like research,
Yeah.
so I was
Nah,
just,
I've just
Yeah.
I
heard
just
about-
assumed
heard
it was
about
fucking bad. Like,
Yeah. Like to be quite honest, the hacking scene that like I was waiting for, which is like the Hugh Jackman, like, come on, baby, what? No, yes, no, yes, no. Like that, it actually wasn't that bad. I was like, oh, this is because it was mostly just like reaction on him, you know, and he's like just like going through the highs and lows of it all. But then it cuts to the screen, and it's like this like DNA Rubik's code cube where it's like the visual effect that they made,
Yeah.
obviously, and it's like that means nothing to any
The worm?
hacking. Like, yeah, it's just like what the. But I don't know.
That's not
Honestly-
a worm. That's a cube, sir.
Honestly, like
This
I
guy
thought
never
I'd
played
hate this
Snake.
movie
got
more,
curves.
but it actually wasn't that bad in my mind, and
you
it's
kidding
terrible.
me?
It's terrible.
what the?
It's not
fuck?
good.
It teeters on being so bad that it's good.
It
like
goes
right
there every once in a while.
Yeah, like the Nick Cage level of my
Right.
rankings of Nick Cage, like the middle
Yeah.
one where it's like funny bad.
Right. It like
Why- who
like,
who okayed the idea to put the New Mexico filter on like level 10
Oh,
throughout this whole
dude.
fucking movie?
That
Every single
orange.
place that they were in,
Yeah.
any building they were in, it was like the lights were on dimmers with orange gels in them. Like, can anybody see in this movie like
Yeah.
IRL? No.
Yeah, no, that definitely dates it in my mind. This
Yeah.
movie, it's pretty rough.
Holy
Yeah.
cow!
fucking Oompa Loompas hacking.
A big problem I had early in the movie too, where I was like trying to get on board with the whole thing, is like, who am I supposed to be rooting for? You know, like
Yeah.
we see Hugh Jackman right away in the first scene, and he's like, you get one look of like, people are dying in this kidnap situation, in this hostage situation. Like, it's like, dude, you were a part of this the whole time, and then it comes back, and it's like, are we supposed to root for him, who like clearly was involved, or like Halle Berry, who it took like 3 cuts to show that she's good at swinging a golf club, which is like not
Holy
convincing.
shit.
So like I'm not
Yeah,
on board
dude,
with
she
her.
does such a terrible
like, it's
job.
not-
Such terrible technique.
It's
Like,
there.
oh my
You have
god,
to like you have to cut away and then do a shot of like the golf ball flying, and it's like,
Jesus. Like, just teach her how to swing.
That's how you do it.
Like,
Yeah. Or Don Cheadle, who is like one of the most boring characters I've ever seen in a movie, like
Oh
doing
my
just
God,
like
I know,
the standard
right?
fucking police
Yeah.
work.
I assumed he would be like better in this, but oh my god,
Me
like
too.
Blends in, I feel like, at certain points, but like, and then or John Travolta, who is just like telling you he has good taste in movies. Like, who do I care about? No one. I guess
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman because he has a daughter, but like, it's so lazy.
Yeah,
Dude,
that was super lazy.
even
That's,
like the writing
interests
for
me,
that kid, or like the kid's dialogue or actions are just so fucking bad.
You're gonna go back to
Oh my-
jail, Daddy, if Mom
Jesus.
sees you.
Or her outfit is just, oh my god, like what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
Even her glasses were orange tinted too. I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw that, but like,
We
come
need
on.
more orange. We need more orange.
We're seeing the whole movie is from her POV actually, so that was the art of it.
Yeah.
you know, like I
Could have
think I
been written
just
by a
also
child.
I just have like a, not that John Travolta specifically did anything like, I don't know, that stood out to me
It
as
was the
bad
soul
in this
patch, wasn't
movie.
it?
Yeah.
No, I
patch.
just like, I think I've
fucking
just
landing
personally
strip.
always had a problem with John Travolta. That is pretty bad. That is very bad.
There's
But
one
no,
scene actually of the landing strip that it's not there. It's when
Really?
it's when after the explosion, like it recaps the explosion and he talks to Don Cheadle.
burnt it
He's
right
got
off
no
his
soul
face.
patch. But then it's back in the next scene. So
Oh, gotcha.
I
yeah.
just
I
forgot
did
to
not
put it
even
on
use-
one scene. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
I just
fucking
forgot to pencil
Hair,
it in.
hair,
Oh,
makeup
the
fucked up.
Where's my fucking soul patch?
No, I think I don't know. I've always just like, I don't know. I
You
think
can't take him
I think it was
seriously, or
after I
what?
watched. Yeah, I just can't take him seriously.
No, I
It's
get
like
it.
I don't really have a problem with like most people, but like I think it was just like after I watched is it like Battleground Earth or some shit like
Oh
that?
my god,
Battlefield
why
The
Earth,
did you do that?
Scientology movie.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, after I watched that, I just like
Like, who is this
I
guy?
don't know. I can't do it anymore. It's
Yeah.
like-
No, I get you. To me,
it
there was
wasn't
like
as bad with Pulp Fiction, at least. I feel like
sure.
he fit in that, but like
Mhm.
you know, because we watched that recently. But
it plays into
yeah,
his
I don't know.
strengths. Here, he's I had like a weird overlap of like the star power in this movie. It's kind of like a weird like hinge point of like 2001. Because like John
Yeah.
Travolta's, I feel is like at the
Was
end.
popular before that.
He's like
yeah,
at the tail end of his like Pulp Fiction revitalization. You know what I'm saying? Like where he's
Yeah.
playing whatever the fuck Face Off or whatever. He's like doing all this action shit. You know. And Halle Berry feels like she's like at the absolute peak of her career in this. Like she's doing her nude scene. She's obviously just there to look fucking hot and be that character. And it's Halle Berry, you know. And then Hugh Jackman is like taking his first steps as like this superstar. There's like these like weird like 3 levels of stardom in this movie that they try to like make work. It just doesn't feel like it adds up or something. Yeah.
Probably like attributed to the fact that you didn't really know who you were rooting for the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
They're
What
all
is this?
fucking eye catching and
right. And I think that was the hope for the script in the movie, is just like get the cool star power names, put them in the same scene, and hope that this action movie is good, because the script is like enough to make
You
it
know,
a movie. You know,
I
like,
will say too, you can't just blame me and Noah for picking this. You
No.
gotta blame whoever the fuck put
Agreed.
this in the movie chest,
I mean,
right?
at the end of the day,
Agreed.
it's my fault.
Who the fuck
'cause
put this in
it's
there?
In there?
Was
It
it
was
you?
not me. I've already seen it, so
Yeah, I put it in there. I
Jeez.
needed to
This
watch
one.
it, so I'll face it. But it's just and to be quite, I'll give it 2.5, because to me, it's like it wasn't
Yeah, I
as
was
bad
wondering.
as I thought.
Like, I was
Yeah.
wondering if I should give it 2.5 or 3. Like, I don't think I want to give it 3 though. I think I'm gonna settle on 2.5.
and 2. Yeah. I think it's around there.
Yeah.
Between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Is like a
It's just
2,
bad-
a
bad.
comfortable
I don't know,
2.
dude. That scene, like after Hugh Jackman, like you meet his daughter and all that, and he just like tumbles down that hill. I was just getting flashed. I was just getting
Yeah,
flashes of
oh my
Hot Rod,
God.
of like Hot Rod.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like fucking. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is, we're still falling.
Yeah.
I love how they tumble down this giant ass hill and then continue to run, but then they only have like one cut on each of their sleeves, like
Yeah,
on their
Mhm.
clothes. But
not bloody
also,
at
I'm
all.
thinking, I'm only 26, and I fell off my one wheel, and I couldn't walk for a week because I fucked up my ankle. And the way they jumped off this cliff and just hooked the landing right on those ankles, I'm like, no way, these guys
Snap.
are like dirty.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Dude, that is like another thing I was gonna say. Hugh Jackman is just some hacker. Like,
Yeah.
and then flash cut to him at the end of the movie firing an RPG at a helicopter. Like, what the
Badass.
fuck? Like,
The
how
journey,
does he
bro.
know how to do that?
The
Like,
journey.
Yeah.
It's all about the journey, right?
Badass.
like what the
Yeah.
fuck? That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
I feel like also like
Yes.
in the 90s and early 2000s, there had to be like there's like a per capita thing that you had to like reach, where you break a pane of glass, or glass has to shatter like every 30 to 60 seconds in an action sequence, or else it's like unviable. It's like, we didn't get the fucking glass shattering. What the fuck did we do? Like, I don't know. It's like so many panes of
I'm not
glass
engaged
lost.
enough.
Yeah, it's like, I lost my
My
interest.
interest is lost.
Yeah. So many panes of glass lost, and just for like minimal effect in a shitty action sequence. You know, it's just like it just is too
It's
much at
also-
a certain point.
That might.
It's
I
also
feel like.
crazy.
Go ahead.
He's like trying to be low key and do this stuff, John Travolta. And then he just stands up on his convertible and just starts blasting these motherfuckers in the middle of the street,
Mm.
and then goes on this long rampage. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
For-
if
Right,
that's like,
because like he's
FBI.
supposed to be like low key and like nobody's supposed to
Right.
know who he is, and then he's driving his fucking car around with like a European license plate. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think you can just. That is like super uncommon in America. So I mean, like I don't like that's immediately like a tip off, right? I mean, like a
Yeah.
cop would immediately pull you over, like
Right.
if they
Yeah,
saw
right.
you at least.
Dude.
Like,
after the big shootout, then they take pictures of him on the roof and they're like, wait a minute, is that him? It's like, what do you mean? Did you not just see the fucking shootout that happened the day before?
Yeah.
Like, did that not make the news?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
I know
Fuck.
that landed strip anywhere. God damn it.
It's hard to miss. Well, you know, I'm glad we got it. We did it. We watched it. Sort of.
Yeah,
Have some schlock in there sometime, you know?
Yeah, we can let it go. We can let it fly, flow down the river.
Well, maybe like from now on, I should just like deliberately pick the shittiest movies that I can.
Well, The Room is in the next batch. Did you see that one?
I already got my picks actually.
Okay. No,
I
not
think
The
I
Room.
have some pretty decent picks.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I did not. I did
still.
not pick The Room. So
Cool. That's good. It's good to hear. Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna come up at some point. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched.
and I
it all
guess
the way
like if
through,
you don't
so.
space out the shitty movies in the movie chest, then like at the end you're just gonna be watching a bunch of shit.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
So we were doing you a favor.
Yeah, it's a balance. You,
Right.
you felt the
You
balance.
guys are true
Rip
heroes.
a Band-Aid off. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Oh.
Well,
do
shall
wanna
we
pick
talk?
on now or
What's up?
the next one? Do we want to pick the next one now? Or?
I gotta look at through them still. I don't know if you guys haven't picked.
That's cool. Yeah, take your
Yeah.
time. We
Yeah,
can just
Looking
do
at
it
him right
next
now.
time.
so.
So do it tomorrow or do it after this if you want. But we'll figure out the next one.
Sounds good.
But talk next Tarantino though. Yeah,
Let's
I
get
feel
it.
like we're
Correcto.
in the peak times, in the good times now with Tarantino.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been in the good times.
yeah, there's good times, but I guess we're in the great times, in my opinion. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What hasn't been said about the movie? Inglourious Basterds, obviously. 2009 gem from Tarantino, where I think he's just, he's gathered all of his skills and he's put a chamber in the gun and just fired it off and fucking hit the target in this one. But what'd you guys think this watch through?
Right at the viewers.
Yeah, dead. Hitler.
Yeah.
You've been Hitler the whole time. Oh my shit! Not a movie.
No, this was fun. This rewatch for me. Delaney was hanging out with me this weekend, and she had never seen it before. So I was like, "Hey, I gotta watch this."
Oh
thing.
shit!
Yeah, so it was fun to see her reaction. It was mostly like her reactions to like the brutality of the film.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I've seen it so many times and I love it that it, it's just like,
Specifically, Hugo Stiglitz.
dude,
Or I guess
yeah,
the
with
bat.
the pillow.
I guess there was a lot of brutality. Like,
yeah, and
And-
like when he's carving the shit and the bat, the bat scene and all that.
Yeah.
So like I was like desensitized to it, but she was like physically cringing and like looking away. I was
Emily
like,
was too
okay,
at the end.
yeah,
She was
yeah.
watching at the end
It's
with
like,
me. Yeah.
It's pretty brutal, but I don't know. I love it for that. I love Tarantino for that. Just the raw shit like that. So no, yeah. And for the longest time, this was like my favorite of Tarantino's. But I think it's been shaken up in like our dive here. I mean, like it's still very good for me. Obviously, still probably one of his best in my opinion. But like Pulp Fiction, and after this one, I was thinking about Jackie Brown even more of like wanting to go back and like watch Jackie Brown to like consider it as being up there.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is like in terms of craftsmanship and just writing, this is so fucking it's flawless. I mean, when I was watching it this time, each chapter is like its own short story. And the whole movie is this Mexican standoff. And then there's Mexican standoffs in like each of these chapters. And the whole movie is just a Mexican standoff of who can kill Hitler first, you know? And
it's just like I don't each
It's-
scene. I don't. There's like so many scenes in this that are just like so fucking intense and like.
Right. Yes.
And every
this-
time you watch it too, you're just like still like palm sweating and you're just on the edge of your seat the whole time. And if a movie can do that after repeat watches, I think you have to admit there's a success
There's
there.
something there.
I mean,
yeah.
on all
Absolutely.
fronts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, this is.
Yeah, I remember watching.
Yeah,
sorry,
go ahead.
I would just say I remember watching the bar scene where they're like rendezvousing to figure out Operation Kino and all that.
In a
I remember watching
goddamn
that the
basement.
first time. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be a fucking genius to know that you don't want to fight in the face. Yeah. But I remember watching that scene for the first time. And I didn't realize till the end of that scene, like basically when Aldo's talking to Wilhelm and it's kind of like winding down, that I was like physically fucking like anxious. Like I was like, oh, okay, like we got through that scene. Like, yeah, it's
like
special.
a 20 to 30 minute scene too. Like it, and to me, I think this is one of the fastest 2.5 hours in movie history. Like honestly, this movie goes it just breezes in ways that I don't know other movies can't do. And I think the long scenes are a part of it. Like this is obviously a masterclass in scene writing, just like setting and putting the characters in there and then like digging out all the drama and the beats and shit. And I mean, like it's been said like a bunch of times how great these scenes are, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I tried to make some notes about the intro scene specifically because it's been said that this is one of the best scenes ever made. And, you know, it's fucking one of the best scenes ever made. I mean, it's fucking great. Obviously, I think Christoph Waltz, like the introduction to him as like a powerhouse actor in this scene is like a huge highlight to why it's so good. I don't know. I wanted to also highlight some other things that maybe like haven't been said, I guess, but the guy who plays the other dude, Denis Menochet, I feel like he matches Christoph Waltz in that scene and doesn't get enough credit for how much intensity and beat for beat on it he is. And then like he kind of like his dodginess is there, and he kind of falls back when he's like lying a little bit, and you kind of see that he's not really telling the truth. And then
he's just like sweating and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just like wipes his fucking brow.
Yeah, he's like obviously there's like little shifty notions there, and then his crying scene, obviously, I think like the way he builds it and it's one of the better scenes, like better crying scenes captured on film too. I mean, I don't know. This is like one of my favorite movies of all time, I think. And I'm trying to like pinpoint like why this one, and like, I don't know, specifically in that opening scene, I was just trying to dissect it in ways that like I hadn't before.
I kind of did a similar thing, maybe not necessarily like dissecting it, but I feel like, I don't know. I had seen this like a couple times before, and I feel like the opening scene, I had never really like focused that intensely on. I think a lot of the other scenes like overshadowed that one for me, like specifically like the bar scene and stuff. But I don't know. This time around, that scene specifically, like the opening scene, like really fucking hit me hard, and I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be a fucking trip. I don't know if I was just like focusing more on it, but like I don't know, that opening scene is just so fucking intense. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, it sets the tone perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's weird. It's because I had a similar thing where I think I just overlooked that scene most of the time, and then for some reason this viewing I was just like, holy shit, like that's how you start a fucking movie, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
And that's a 20-minute scene too, easily. Like it's like it just captures you and doesn't let you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just like the perfect allegory to like that time, World War II and the Nazi fucking occupation, all that shit.
It's just like the reality of that situation.
Man,
immediately.
I don't know. He just like lays down all his facts, like why he's like there and stuff too, and like I don't know, he's like literally just like doing detective work basically. Like
that's what he thinks of himself as. Clearly, by the end of the movie, he's not like a Nazi. He's like an outside that.
It was interesting. Like what I was thinking, like throughout this movie, because Brad Pitt calls them like that they act like Apaches more, where they like use fear tactics, but like. I don't know. It's almost like they're like a fucking gang, and they're like two gangs, like two rival gangs, basically. I don't know. Just
I didn't think about it like that. But yeah, that's
beat each other up with baseball hilarious. Bats.
Yeah,
they all got their fucking like monikers and shit.
Yeah.
Their nicknames.
It's cool though. I know everyone sings Christoph Waltz praises, but this time especially. I mean, I think Brad Pitt kind of matches him with his character. I mean, I think both characters are kind of like perfect contrast to each other. Aldo the Apache comes down from the Smoky Mountains to kill Nazis.
Yeah,
then Christoph Waltz comes down from the Alps to kill Jews. And just and then they're kind of matching each other at the end there. But even Christoph Waltz, that beginning scene, the way he can just switch the emotion but be like calm and sinister.
Yeah.
And then the scene with Diane Kruger where he like tells her to put her foot on there. He puts her shoe on and his face just says it all.
Yeah,
where he's like, I have to do this now.
Like so intense.
The scene before that too, where he's like absolutely just fucking with them, and he's just like laughing his ass off, and then he just can switch and just like get back into like the fucking
like
down to the cocoa. What? Down one more. Down to cocoa.
Yeah,
beautiful. He's fucking with him. It's just so great.
Gorlami. I love when he's like, that's the best. Gorlami.
So good, man. No, I mean he's one of his best performance of all time.
Character.
Yeah, and that character really is. Yeah.
It's great.
Because I mean,
So smartly
even it
written.
alludes just a little scene that Tarantino put in there of Hitler talking about how the Americans are on the shores, and it's like he knows the war's almost over. So this is like his last hurrah of being like, I am a great leader, so I have to show my presence. And
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz's character obviously knows that too. That's why he is in on the whole. Well, we're fucked. So now I gotta find my way out, and that's what he. Oh, it's just such good writing.
Yeah,
This
it
whole
is.
Yeah,
movie.
It is.
that is a great scene when they're like on the phone, like just where we have the phone between them. It's like, yeah, the one call it takes, and we can end the war tonight. You know, that's just like it's just a badass premise. You know, like.
And I mean, as far as acting for Christoph Waltz goes, that scene, I think when he's like his bingo speech, obviously you've seen it and played it 100 times, but that, again, like he can just like get in and out of like different like personalities or like different like emotions in such a way that's like so jolting, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
interested to
fucking
see
good.
like what we think of him in Django because, I mean, his character's like obviously Django's the main deal there, but
he's an
I don't know,
easy
his character's
second.
still pretty interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah, I mean, as far as also people who like can live up to Tarantino, you know, like as an actor, Christoph
Oh,
Waltz, like the casting
he's
that
perfect.
oh my god, he
Yeah.
can sing like his dialogue, you know, like
Right.
so fucking good.
And this was his first American movie, wasn't it? Like his debut
Shit,
as an
That's
American
it's
film.
such a like
that's
I
impressive.
haven't seen
I
him
could
before
see
that.
that just because I hadn't seen it before that either.
Right.
So like, yeah, I could
And he
definitely
won
see
an
it.
Oscar for it and all this stuff.
Such
And
a debut.
obviously, yeah.
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 That's dope.
Yeah. I mean, also I think what makes this one of Tarantino's best is like, especially after like Kill Bill and Death Proof, you can feel how like his impulses are like maturely contained in this movie. Like Kill Bill goes wild in the editing and wild in everything. That's great. I love it. But this one is like purely like plotted and like relentlessly like cut. The editing in this movie I think is some of the tightest in any
And there's
Tarantino
still
movie.
some weird
Agreed.
face zoom ins with
for
some
sure.
weird music, you know,
Yeah.
with Stiglitz.
They cut
Yeah.
to them just like unloading on the car. There's a side still,
Yeah.
but it comes back to the story and then
It definitely is more contained. Yeah, I agree.
for sure.
Way more reined in.
Right. It's like this is the most mature movie almost for him, I'd say, and it feels like, I mean, he says it's his masterpiece at the end, and like to be quite honest, you got to listen to the man. I'd say at a certain point, like he knows like what he's doing in this one more. It feels like, you know. And I think this was a story that he like had in his back pocket for many years, and
It took him 10 years to get it made.
he finally like cracked onto the keys
Right.
and did it eventually. So I think that also helped probably where it's like it was marinating for a while and he got the juiciest bits that he needed out of it. Yeah, I got some other notes like the musical stings in this movie. I was paying attention to more of this to watch through too. There are just some like they're so direct in your face and like the styles are so widespread and different that it's like Tarantino's rock star shit or whatever, where he can do a 5-second little stinger of just like dung diddling 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 diddling, and then it just like ends. You know, it's just like okay, yeah.
You have 30 seconds.
Yeah, or it's just like they perfectly capture the moment, even though it's just like random as shit, like music with like Stiglitz, the like guitar riff shit. It's like it's the rock star. He's the rock star Nazi killer, you know, and like that's what Tarantino picked to show it. So it's just fun. Yeah, what else do I got here? I mean, because this one's hard to talk about because I feel like everyone's said most anything there is to say about this movie because it's just.
I also think another tip of the hat to the writing is how he starts the movie. Once upon a time, you know, ... in Nazi-occupied France. It like sets it up as a fantasy because obviously this is an alternate history, so it's a fantasy to begin with, and like I don't know. I guess critically, I guess you could say this was like pretty not as well received as his other films for some reason, which is kind of crazy. But obviously, hindsight has kind of changed that. But it starts it off the tone. It's a fantasy with the once upon a time, you know, and then of course he alters history at the end, but it goes with it because it is his alternate history. It's his fantasy.
This is how Hitler died in his world, you know, like.
It's just like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know.
It does fit in. Like I like his like a world adjacentness. That's a fun like concept that's kind of uniquely to Tarantino. Also, is like he has created a world. Like I'm pretty sure all his movies operate in the same world, and then like Kill Bill and Death Proof are like movies within that world. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But like, it's kind of cool that he actually is tying it all together in ways, you know, in his mind.
I would love for him to just make a horror film for me. Like it could be. I mean, obviously, it's like Ari Aster esque, or Robert Eggers. It could just be so good because these
He's too
intense
funny.
scenes that he has.
He can't do horror because he's always leaning into comedy, you know, like.
But he could do camping horror, like Cabin in the Woods.
Definitely could.
It could be great.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be fun.
You know,
he could take that to a whole nother level.
Yeah, that is a good point. Because you could have all like the crazy fucking dialogue you want, and then I'm sure he could still make something like extremely fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
For sure.
It just like comes out of fucking nowhere.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know.
It could be so good, but alas, he's on his last movie, and it is not a horror film. So
yeah. The last one seems like it's more reflective of.
Let me ask you this: do you think it wasn't that well received because people just kind of like didn't get that it was supposed to be a fantasy? Like, do you think it was mainly because of the end and how it diverged from real world events, and people just didn't really like that, or I don't know? I guess like, or do you think it was some other reason entirely that it wasn't that well received?
I could see that where it's just like, what the fuck? Because the first time I watched it, I got
people
confused.
Like didn't get it or something. You know?
I was young though too. When I remember watching this on HBO and just like. It like
I was also
something
confused,
like clicked in me. Yeah, it's just like oh, that's so we're not in the real world. I mean, and then when you notice the title card and everything, it all kind of comes together as like this thing. But like, you know, I think that might be a factor, honestly, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I know one thing that I have heard down the grapevine is it's like anti-Holocaust. Like people took it that way. It's like how?
I mean, it's the perfect Jew revenge story. Like it's like literally that's what the chick says over like the fire burning. Like I mean, honestly, I did note this time it's like when when the shooting in the theater happens, I felt like a horror on a actual human level just because like
I thought that this time too,
people are actually like experiencing that shit nowadays in this reality, which is a terrifying thing. So like I just think like it comes with a new like definition almost in this time where like people are getting shot in theaters and it's actually fucked up. So, but I mean, they're Nazis, so it's like this movie still works as like a revenge shit or whatever. But
like fuck them.
It's just like that. The editing in that scene with like the look in Eli Roth's eyes is like somebody watched this movie and took this the wrong way. Like, you know, like I don't know.
People wanted to be angry, and people always want to be angry at Tarantino for some reason. So.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really like think about this. Well, I guess this doesn't really have anything to do with Tarantino. It's more about like the movie playing and the guy, like the sniper. Because I don't know, I had like heard parallels before, or people draw parallels before between like that movie and that guy and like American Sniper, like the movie with Bradley Cooper. I don't know. Maybe. Personally, I've never actually seen American Sniper, so I don't really know. But like in a way, I mean, I can see it. I mean, that movie in Inglourious Basterds about the sniper dude, I mean, is obviously just propaganda. And I guess it's just kind of interesting how like
definitely not American Sniper. That wasn't propaganda.
Yeah, right. Like I mean, I don't know. It's.
No,
I mean,
sure.
I'm pretty sure Inglourious Basterds came out before it anyway, but like, so it wasn't like a nod to it or something. But,
I mean, it was a book before though, so you know, like it could
American Sniper.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I don't know. Sure.
Maybe. It feels like a similar dramatic situation. I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah.
Though, so.
Yeah, I haven't either. I don't know. That's not really my kind of stuff to watch, I guess.
Just, I like also while they're all watching that movie, they're just cheering, and it's just the same scene over and over again of a guy just shooting,
body falling.
One of the scenes is
your best. This is your best.
Outside the tower, there's just a swastika and bullet marks. It's like,
yeah,
why did the Americans shoot a swastika? Okay,
that's good shit. I mean, Tarantino does like pat himself on the back multiple times in this movie, though. At the end, he's like, "It's my masterpiece," and then Hitler like leans over and he's like, "This is your best one yet," and he's like got tears in his eyes and shit. And that was like clearly like him like talking to himself. I felt like, but Yeah, I guess one scene that I don't know if I like this scene as much as I used to, I guess. It's the scene where it's like the fucked up Cinderella finds her shoe scene. It's a great scene.
You didn't like it?
I love the scene, but to be quite honest, I question like why he killed her. I don't know. I just like he let the bastards go, and I feel like he killed her out of just like anger or like betrayal that she was a traitor, or
Yeah, like it was
He
like
didn't-
personal
it was
instead of
impulsive.
like
didn't-
yeah.
He didn't really let the bastards go. He needed Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
and he didn't need
didn't need
Udovich, but
her.
he needed Brad Pitt. The other guys he knew they were gonna die because they were strapped with bombs. So she was either a loose end, or
I guess
like you said, it could have just been an enemy of the state. So he was just pissed off.
I guess like it would make sense in my mind actually that he's actually a Nazi, and like he killed her because he's like that hateful Nazi dude, because like he says he's
Right.
not, but then maybe he like bought into all this shit along the way where it's like he let it all out in that scene or something. Clearly he's like got the ideals or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
to have like such a cool level-headed character the whole movie do that in that scene, it kind of just makes me like question a little bit of like the nature of why and like if it fits. So I don't know. That's just what I was thinking this time with that scene. I don't know. And then I also know Tarantino was like the hands in that scene, and that just like certain things about that dude just make me like weirded out. I'm just like, why do you need to do that? Like, and the foot in the scene is very
like
contained and mature.
It's Tarantino's hands.
It's Tarantino's hands doing the choking because he wanted to get the choking right.
Because I thought you meant like putting on the shoe or something.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
But, I don't know, the feet and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, in Kill Bill too, when Bud spits on Uma Thurman, that's Tarantino too.
Really?
He spits. Yeah.
Huh.
That's I don't know. There's a little bit of a disconnect for me on like art and like what's the word I'm looking for? But I guess like exploitation or just like taking advantage of like a moment. You know, like I don't know.
And I actually thought about this.
He's the director. He can do whatever he wants.
I thought about the whole hand choking and then the Kill Bill stuff, and how that's obviously been a point of contention with people where it's like, why did Tarantino have to do that? And because I just watched The Killer, David Fincher's The Killer, and I was listening to like stuff that he's done in the past and how he will change just a background person or yell at them because that's not how a normal person walks. So it's just like I think they get to a point where they want it to be perfect. So they have their vision in their mind. So they just kind of
I mean, definitely. I mean, that's like in Tarantino's mind, that's what he thinks. But like I don't know. He writes such like insert myself into the scene shit where it's like too much at certain points. I commend him for this foot scene because it's very tasteful and very reined in and very like it's rooted in like the fucked up Cinderella of it all. He still writes.
Yeah,
the
go
scene,
on,
though.
dude.
He still writes the scene. You know, like he's got to get the scene in there. But I don't know. That scene is the one scene where it stands out as something that I don't fully like, I guess. But
I think that scene actually stood out to me this watch through. Like I mentioned earlier, was the fact that Christoph Waltz's character, like how evil, like just pure evil that he is. So maybe that's just finally peeked through at that scene too, because he just once the shoe fits and she looks at him and like says, you know, now what? And his face just says it all, where he's just pure anger and just evil. You know,
I guess like I view that character as like more like he says he's not a Nazi, he says he's better than his people, but like it fits in the movie that he's not. You know, like, and he's been doing these things that clearly he has to answer for.
I would say even from the opening scene, like it's like you're showing a little bit more of a sadistic side of him. So that's that just
it peaks out, I guess. So like it's there, but yeah, I guess it has to explode before the resolution in ways.
Right, and he could also just be so angry that they thought they could be like so lax in their excuse, like, oh, she went mountain climbing the night before, so maybe he was just like, do they think I'm that stupid?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Some ego shit probably wrapped in there or whatever. But yeah, speaking of Michael Fassbender, though, I wrote this time that I mean, he's great in this movie. He's obviously like a feature part of the best scene in the movie, which, you know, obviously the basement scene or whatever. I just find it hilarious that his character is such a badass, but he's actually just this like movie nerd that is like roped into the war now. Like his whole introduction scene is just like him talking about German movies, and then he's in a bar like doing some fucking spy shit. It's just like such a fun character background for that guy, and it's clearly Tarantino.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Cool.
it's good shit.
I thought it was funny. I don't know why, but like I never picked up that it was Mike Myers in that scene for some reason too that he's talking to.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa,
it takes a second.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
Also,
but cool.
Michael Fassbender's character. I mean, some of the best like finishing like before death lines. You know, going out speaking the kings and damn good scotch. It's just
that's good.
Solid.
Badass.
Same
awesome.
with the. I mean, that whole scene is obviously. But same with the other dude who's like, I'm tired of these like monkey shines or whatever the fuck. And
yeah.
Like, what did you say before? He's like these people might get out or whatever, but we know that me and you, we're not leaving the table. Like it's just like so fucking intense between those two.
So yeah, the Saints are Nazi bombs.
Yeah. Stieglitz. Really the only final note I have that just is like one of the most like, why the fuck did you think this thoughts? But Tarantino chose to make the subtitles yellow. I don't know. Most like other films, it's just like a standard white. He clearly decided to make this one a little more bold, and I
did kind of notice that too.
Yeah, so it's like I think it worked because maybe he was just trying to make it pop out more because there is so much subtitle, but you know, it did pop out more. So good job.
Yeah.
Because
maybe that was also why this wasn't as well received. So many subtitles.
True.
Back in 2009, when people didn't really use as many subtitles. I mean, I always have subtitles on now, but like, you know, I mean, back in the day, no.
Maybe.
I can't do subtitles. I had them on for the longest time, like for like a couple of years, and I was like, then they just started getting more distracting to me. It's like I'm reading what they're saying.
You're like having a conversation in real life, and you're just like, "Where are my subtitles?" Like,
yeah, pretty much. It would be nice. No,
yeah. Even the most
now
basic shit, I watch subtitles. Like I'm watching Modern Family right now with subtitles. So, like, I just need them
phases of them. Yeah, sometimes
I get that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I just get distracted where I'm like, I read it before they say it, and then I'm like waiting. Yeah, I don't know.
You're not even looking at the image after a certain point.
Mm-hmm. It like distracts me from like feeling whatever emotion is in the scene sometimes.
Oh, another scene that I think deserves a little mention is when Christoph Waltz and Shoshana, when they have their little scone scene, and he orders her milk, and he says, "There's one more thing," and it's just like, does he know?
But I can't remember.
Yeah.
So good.
And so just ending with her like basically just like fucking like freak it, like the panic or whatever. Fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, that's the joy of this movie to me is like the collision of all those different characters, obviously like Shoshana and Brad Pitt and Christoph Waltz, and they all like bounce. They all are super distinct and cool, and they all bounce off each other perfectly, and then it all comes to the end, which to me the ending is like it's a perfect ending. So just I don't know. This is the top for me of Tarantino. It has been for a while, but I kind of am curious about Django because that one entertains me a lot more. I really don't go to Inglourious Basterds unless I'm really feeling it nowadays. But Django is one that I feel like I'd watch more. So I'm curious if that's gonna be my number one by the end of this. But
I was like thinking about that too. I don't know. I feel like it's just like I don't know. I've only seen Django probably like one time, but it seemed like just way more like shoot 'em up than like his other movies. But I don't know. I don't know if that's what like drew a lot of people in. But I guess I'm just like curious to see if it actually holds up because I don't really even remember a lot of the movie. So
cool.
I don't
know. To echo that whole rewatchability thing, when I watched Django for the first time, I watched it like I think 2 or 3 more times that same day because I wanted to show everybody that I took to that day. I was like, "You got to see this," and it's my favorite movie. So, and I just turn it on now when I want a little comfort food.
Yeah.
So no, it's entertainment value, but on top of the entertainment value, it's just such a well-crafted movie. We'll get into it next week, but it's
like
just
that was what I was curious about. If like I assumed it was, but like I don't know. I didn't know if like some stuff got lost in translation and it got like boosted its popularity just because like I don't
I don't
know, the
understand that.
extra
Like when
stuff.
people talk about Tarantino, this one kind of Django gets kind of, in my opinion, from what
Yeah.
I've heard, gets kind of pushed to the side in terms of his like greats, but like it's the perfect movie in terms of genre and
Yeah.
just the balance of everything in one movie. The entertainment, it's a beautiful movie, and it's just it's perfect. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be sucking its dick next week. Don't you worry.
So do we only have 3 left then? Are there only 3 left?
Django, Hateful Eight, and
Hateful Eight.
Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
small catalog.
I was
Decent,
curious
decent.
too, when we get to Hateful Eight, or maybe, I don't know, I can ask then. Are we going to watch the regular version or the extended
I was
version?
also gonna ask that.
I'll probably just do the regular, but I
Okay.
did watch the Netflix thing a while back, and there was a little bit more, but I really don't remember much at it that I really cared about.
I think more of the Dahmer gooking and then a couple of just extra scenery shots.
I mean,
Just more background
I'm
for
down
characters.
you guys can watch whatever you want.
Okay.
We can talk about the differences too if we want. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, next week, Inglourious Basterds and Django feel like almost like the same coin of like Tarantino.
Yeah, like twin.
Yeah, they're like dual movies
I agree.
almost. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
cool to kind of see next week's for Django.
Fuck, man. I'm thinking about like Leo and Samuel's performance in Django too. Like unreal.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know, I just rewatched The Wolf of Wall Street, and I've always said Django is Leo's best performance.
Yeah.
But I don't know, The Wolf of Wall Street, after rewatching it, I'm like,
Close, right?
it's tight now
Yeah.
because he really turns it up in that movie.
I mean, he's literally.
I just
yelling
remember learning
a lot.
where I remember learning about Django where he like where Leo like smacks the table and breaks the glass and like cuts himself in real life and then like smears the blood over. It's like Rosario Dawson, I think is maybe not it's his wife, Django's wife.
Harry Washington. I
But,
think.
okay. And that was like all completely imposed and like in the moment. It's like, dude, give the man an Oscar.
Dedication.
Like don't make him eat this fucking horse liver or whatever the fuck. Like
Yeah, had to go farther than that.
deserve more. Deserve better, Leo.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun chat next week. Join us then.
Yeah.
Get another movie chest. Get another Tarantino talking here. Are we trying to just hop out, or anybody want to stay and talk about other stuff? Or I'm fine talking. I'm fine.
Well, I do have a question for you. Did you finish The House of Usher yet?
I did.
Or
I did indeed.
and
Liked
have
it a
you
lot.
guys?
I'm not.
I haven't watched. I was thinking about watching it because like I like all of his other shit. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna go
And
back
I'm
and
like
watch The
curious
Haunting.
about like because he's supposed to be making a Dark Tower series, right?
It's
rumors.
been talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
hope-
That's not
I
confirmed.
hope.
Mm.
Yeah.
If anybody can do it,
I feel like he's the
justice,
guy.
it's him.
Yeah,
He
like
is.
Yeah,
He is
that's
the
what I was
talked
thinking
about
too. I think we've
He's
talked
got
about
it
this before.
planned.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
so I don't know.
For
His-
sure.
But yeah,
his love for Stephen King, I love it. I watched Gerald's Game, and like there's so many Stephen King nuggets in that movie, and it's just fucking Mike Flanagan going hard and saying like, "Hey, I read his books," and
It's
I'm
like, I
like,
know what I'm fucking talking about.
I love this. Like,
That's good.
there's one line in there, "We all
Okay.
serve the beam," and I was just like, "Do that Dark Tower series. Do it for me. Come on."
Yeah,
But-
that would be. He would make it infinitely entertaining.
God damn.
Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
I really
Yeah.
liked House of Usher though. I thought it was one of my
Yeah.
favorite shows of the year. I think so.
Gotcha,
Definitely.
okay.
Nice.
It's top notch. And the only complaint I had about House of Usher, it's not really a complaint. I just want Mike Flanagan's full vision. Like the other guy who directed those other 4 episodes, because he did 4, Mike did 4. They're both Mike, I think. But they did 4 and 4.
Mhm.
And every episode that Mike Flanagan was directing, I was like, this episode slaps so hard. Just visually, story too, but just visually, it just feels like it comes across better. Like the Gold Bug episode, and at the end of that one, that death was just so like impactful
Yeah, it was cool.
and how it happens, and I don't know. That was my only like thing is I want Mike Flanagan's full vision.
I guess I didn't really notice too much of drop off. I didn't really pay attention to the directing though. I did the directing, but not like who was directing the episodes.
Yeah.
But just because I think I was enraptured in Flanagan's dialogue the whole time. Like obviously
Oh
that's
my
his
God.
feature, but like the cinematography was great in that show. But just you're just hooked on the characters talking. It's crazy.
Another thing, I after watching House of Usher, I rewatched Midnight Mass. Oh my God.
Hell
Fantastic
yeah.
show.
Rewatch it, it holds up.
I think I will
like,
do a rewatch
rewatching
soon,
it,
honestly.
I
Yeah.
gotta watch
It
that. I
pays
still haven't
off.
seen it.
You
Yeah.
catch little
It's
things
so
that he
fucking
just
good.
drops in there. Oh
I
my
got-
God. And the writing is just so So good.
Yeah,
The
he can
monologues.
capture you.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got to go back and watch the Haunting shows, honestly, because I remember when those came out,
Yeah,
everybody
those-
loved them, and I was like, it's
Yeah.
stupid Netflix.
I think
Haunting
I've
show.
only
Yeah.
seen.
I think it's probably better
I don't
than
think
I
I've ever
think.
actually seen The Haunting of Hill House. I think I've only seen the Bly Manor one. But
Oh,
like,
Hill House is so much better.
That's what I hear.
gotcha. Okay.
I got like 2 episodes into that, then dropped off. But yeah, I should watch it. I don't think I watched any of Mike Flanagan's shit, so I should get into it.
That's fucked.
Yeah. Fuck me.
I mean, I'm excited for you because I didn't know who he was like 2 years ago, and then I watched Midnight Mass, and it like changed. I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch all of his stuff now, and just.
I thought that's exactly what happened to
Right
me
on.
too,
Yeah.
or at least that's why I watched Bly Manor after. But I don't know. I was watching with some people too, so.
The priest in Midnight Mass, that character is so fucking fire. Oh,
He uses a lot of the same
love it.
actors too, and a lot of his
Mhm.
crew are like fucking good. I mean, he picks them for a reason, but they similar. Like he's similar, like with Tarantino. There's not a lot of like distinct voices nowadays, and he's one that is like showing himself as like he's got his style and he's got his stuff, and yeah, it's good.
definitely.
That's cool.
And the way he does like horror is just so like it's subtle and it's so chilling. Like even in Gerald's Game, it's not really horror, but the times that there is horror elements, I was creeped the fuck out. Just the way he uses the camera and the space that's in the frame, and he'll like put something in the corner where it's just extremely creepy. I don't know. It's good. I love it.
With House of Usher too. I mean, I'd read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe's short stories through school. So like I think he did Poe justice too, dude. Like
Absolutely.
he inserts a lot of his writing in towards the end of it too, and it like smacks, I think. Like
Oh yeah.
and just like the
Definitely.
eerie nature of like Poe's writing, where it's like inherently, I mean, obviously there's like a devil character kind of operating in that show, but like yeah, I don't know. I felt like Poe, and that really brought a lot of the love for me too, because I mean I like Poe's stories when I was younger.
Right.
So
And I think it helps too with the way he writes his characters. Pym's character, especially, he has so much mystery to that character. He gives you just what you need, but then you kind of have your imagination to think like, well, what did he see in the Arctic, and did he go between worlds, like they say, you know? And it's just
that character
it's just
too. I
fucking
mean,
cool.
he has a great send off, like compared to like every other character's decision at the end or whatever. Like it was so great to have like him do what he did. So
just a certified badass. So.
yeah, I mean,
All right, fine. I'll start watching it.
you're not gonna regret it. It hooks me. It hooked me pretty easily. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of interesting because like I actually have some friends who like just started watching The Sopranos too.
Hey.
So like I should probably just start watching the fucking Sopranos.
I'm gonna start The Wire here in a little bit. I'm actually gonna finish Mr. Robot first soon here, though. I'm gonna start the engines again.
Sure.
Yeah, it's taken me like 10 years to watch Mr. Robot, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
It's good. It turns into such like an art show. Like towards the end, like the story's still there, but like the way I don't forget the
More
guy's
like
name.
Psychological,
Eshmel.
spiritual. Yeah.
The way he like illustrates it all is just so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
He's got a new movie too. I'm gonna check out. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's got a lot of big names in it.
Yeah. He doesn't really like Mr. Robot blew up and asserted himself with that show, but he hasn't really been able to like find something after to like keep it, you know.
Right. Like the hook at the end of season 1 of Mr. Robot just kind of like made it blow up, I think.
That first season was it really blew up on that first season.
But even like
Rami Malek
season
getting
3
the award.
is so fucking good.
Yeah, that's where I stopped off, but I was almost done with season 3 and it was very good.
Yeah. But
Fuck, Matt.
It's I don't know, that one you have to watch that one. You gotta like sit there and watch that one. So
yeah,
it's hard to put on.
You've told me to watch that before, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. I never
I think I've seen the first season, but that's where I stopped. So
it's hard to keep going, but it's rewarding when you do. So
definitely. I'm chugging through the Sopranos though. Almost done with season 3 now.
Halfway done then, shit, son.
Yeah, maybe I should just fucking start.
I mean, you're moving. You must be liking it then, right? Like you're cooking through it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like it's not like every episode has like a hook at the end that makes you want, but for some reason, I'm just like, well,
Switch
now
them
I
up.
gotta know what the characters are gonna do next. So I just keep watching episode after episode, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed. But
Yeah, I
then
think
the end
last
of the
time we
episode
talked, you
happens,
were
and I'm
talking
like,
about how late you were staying up, like watching episodes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like end of season 2 was coming up, and it was all that the pussy drama, and I was just like, well, I gotta see what happens. That's I don't want to spoil anything, but that's my
Nah.
only like gripe about the
Really?
show
Pussy?
was that it felt like it needed one more episode between that the final episode and
The
when
resolution
Tony
or
gets
whatever.
sick. Right.
I
It
get you.
just needed some more meat in there.
I feel you.
But
I mean,
but
it has
anyway,
its hits and misses, and it has its like little
yeah.
highs and lows, and it's like plotting and stuff. But it's super
At
solid
its
throughout.
core, it's the character writing and like the depiction of good, evil, morals, stuff like that is just top notch. So
Yeah, and it just
um,
feels like that show is like ingrained in reality. Like all those characters
yeah,
are real, even though they're like mob people.
yeah,
Obviously, his kids make that. I think that like really brings him into reality when his shitbag son is just doing something at school or whatever. But
yeah. And like what was I thinking? Ah, fuck.
yeah,
It escapes me. Oh well.
yeah. I mean, let me know. Yeah, I mean, keep moving because I'm curious what you think about the end. I don't know if we've ever talked about it since I stopped, but
No.
yeah, I loved it. Loved it. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm loving it right now. Like, I'm really enjoying it. And Melfi's character's popping off. Well, I don't know if popping off's the right word, but damn, that was dark.
are you liking Christopher yet, or how's that?
Yes,
Yeah, okay,
yes. Actually, he got his pin, so I was like, nice.
cool.
And yeah, he's growing on
It
me
starts
quite a
to
bit.
switch where like I root for Christopher after a while, like
Yeah,
a little bit. So
he started growing on me after shit. I forgot which season. I think it was about halfway through season 2. He started to grow on me, and
nice.
also, can we talk about how that scene with him getting capped is just basically the Hank scene in Breaking Bad? You know, the 1 minute episode where it's just like it's not as intense, obviously, where it
Mhm.
has the strong repercussions. But I was just
It's
like,
true.
Vince, I know you watch this,
Oh yeah,
buddy.
easily.
Yeah,
Like I feel like Breaking Bad is almost a reaction, not a reaction, but it's like an expansion of what The Sopranos like did, almost like
honestly, thinking about it, I think Breaking Bad took what The Sopranos did and just perfected it in terms
the
of like
model
the
of it.
character
Yeah,
and the storytelling is so much tighter and everything has an impact and a cause and effect. Where The Sopranos, most things have cause and effect, and you see that impact, but some things kind of get tossed out the window
for
and
sure.
brought back at its convenience.
Hmm.
Um, like his mom having dementia would have been a bigger deal in Breaking Bad, where it
Yeah,
would have been like brought up and explored more. So,
yeah, or just more relevant. Like a lot of The
right.
Sopranos relevance kind of flies out after a while, or saying like,
Yeah.
yeah, but for sure, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So,
Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess before you go, I just have to say that like I've been watching random shit or whatever, but the thing I'm watching the most right now, I guess like out of respect, like rest in peace Matthew Perry, but I actually started
oh
watching
my God.
The Friends. I started watching
You,
Friends, and
you know how many people reached out to me when Matthew Perry died?
I'm sure, right?
So many people just was like,
I was
"How you
shocked, dude.
doing?"
It's crazy. Like I don't know. I
It
watched.
just it's an understatement to say his Chandler Bing's character didn't influence my personality. Like, because I started watching that, in
Yeah.
8th grade
No,
every night.
I get you, man.
So
I think I
I
think
mean,
he
I
had that
named my
effect on a
first
lot of
child
people.
after him. So
Right, right. I mean he's amazing in the show, man. He's fantastic in the show.
yeah,
He's honestly like a lot of the show is set up for that character. Like
definitely.
characters will say things that add up to him getting the joke or him getting the line and him getting the like.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean he's
his
ingrained in that for sure.
yeah, definitely. He's definitely the heart of the show. And even as the seasons progress, you could just kind of feel like the energy feeding off into the other characters too, where they all kind of get the Chandler Bing comedic timing down and
Yeah,
it
he
gets
just
better
got.
and better.
I'm flying through it, so he's already with Monica. Everybody already
Then you're
found
at the
out.
good
Like,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a whole new chapter of the show almost. When that
Yeah.
happens.
That's
So.
where it really pops off. It's actually funny that one of the people who was reaching out to me, he was like, I'm talking with this guy and he's a hater and he wants you to give him 5 episodes that'll change his mind about Friends. I'm like, if he's going in angry about it already and just with the mindset of not even enjoying the characters, he's not going to find anything
I don't think
there.
5 episodes are really going to be able to like do it
No.
because, like, to be quite honest, like the charm of Friends is like getting to know the characters and then taking the friendship
Exactly.
journey with them, like, and I
Exactly.
mean, I, like many other white Americans born in the 90s, have found like a soft spot in my heart for Friends. Like it just like happens, I
Exactly.
think, at a certain point. So like
Yeah.
you got to take
It's
the
like you feel
ride.
like you're one of the friends and you're just kind of hanging out with them. And it's great. It's a great experience.
Yeah. I'm going to go through Seinfeld next, I think, just because I've been enjoying the rhythm of just binging hardcore a fucking like sitcom like that. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried I won't like Seinfeld as much. But we'll see.
Honestly, I'm trying to like Seinfeld. I've been trying to watch it for the past like year. I'm only on season 3.
Hmm.
I mean, it's funny. It has its moments, but it doesn't have the warmth that Friends has, and that's
Friends,
what I
man,
Oh,
yeah, they really
yeah.
draw you in.
I mean, in
Joe, you've seen
Seinfeld,
both, right?
they're all assholes. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
like the original It's Always Sunny. I mean,
Right.
like you're not meant to like supposed to like
Yeah.
follow them or
Yeah,
do
want
what
to
they
spend
do.
time with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're all fucking terrible. But
Yeah. I guess
I don't know
Yeah.
how I've kind of equated it. I don't know. In my opinion, usually I feel like extroverts like Friends more and introverts like Seinfeld more.
Hmm.
Because I feel like it is kind of like how the two groups like think
operate
just
a little
generally.
bit.
Yeah.
One group
Because I
is
feel like I
hanging
don't
out
know,
in
like
the coffee
yeah.
club. The other is like always at Jerry's apartment,
The-
just talking shit
and the
about people.
introverts are just like just thinking about how much I fucking hate people.
Yeah, that's true. But you've seen both, right, Joe? Which one's your ideal, or like I guess like go to by Seinfeld?
I mean, Seinfeld has always been my go-to. I think that was just because I started with it first.
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen all of Friends, but I've seen a lot of Friends. But like never like in order. I think I just like watched a lot of bits and
Yes,
pieces
baby.
with just like different people,
Oh yeah.
And like I don't know. So I cumulatively I've probably seen like half the show. I know like main events that happen and stuff like that. And I don't know. Maybe I should just go through it at some point.
It's been enjoyable.
Honestly, the first season goes so hard, in my opinion. Every time I watch it, I don't know, gets me in the feels.
I mean, the
Oh, yeah.
writing in that show is pretty solid. Like they get
It
it
is.
well oiled, and like
Yeah.
they got comedy chops to back it up in the writing. It's not just like shitty sitcom shit. Like there are like actual good like comedic beats and shit. So
It was like growing up, like I think it was 8th grade is when I started watching it. I would be up at night by myself in the dark laughing. And it's like, this was the first show that made me do that. So
nice.
Oh yeah.
that's,
Hell
yeah.
It's a good one. I'm enjoying the ride, so I just figured I'd let you know that I'm on the journey now, and also like rest in peace, Matthew Perry, man. That's
Damn. Yeah, I
that's
know. When my mom texted me first, no, she called me and she's like, hey, did you hear the news? And first thing that popped in my mind was like, Tom Cruise is dead. Fuck.
at least it's not Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the news? And she was like, Matthew Perry died. And I was like, nah, you're on Facebook again. You're just
Yeah,
reading fake bullshit.
misinformation.
And then so I get on and I'm like, I text her back, I'm like, no, you were right. This sucks. And yeah, then
So
the text
unexpected.
messages came flooding in.
Yeah.
But
So unexpected, but I don't know. I'm gonna watch the Friends reunion at the end and just kind of hopefully get the 20 years later perspective on it all. And I mean, you
I'm
can't
glad
really do a
they
reunion
did
anymore,
that.
so it's
Yeah.
the Friends will live forever as like its thing. So
Yeah. Damn. Well, I'm glad you're watching it. It's a great.
it's good.
Great
I like it,
binge.
and like me and Emily watch it together, and we actually laugh and stuff too. So it's it's good.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
That's me and Sarah's when she was in the hospital last giving birth. We brought 2 seasons with, and we just watched them because I have them on
That shit.
DVD. So
It goes so
brought a
fast
DVD
too.
player and yeah, just watched Friends for 3 days. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, you guys want to talk about anything that you've been watching before we go, or what's the move?
I've been watching some stuff. Really, the only thing I wanted to bring up. So I watched. What's up?
Attack on Titan. Is that what you're gonna say?
Oh no, fuck that! I
Oh,
still
okay,
haven't even
okay.
watched it. I don't give a shit
Okay.
about. Like I could.
Okay,
I'll
okay,
watch
okay.
it eventually,
All right.
but
All right.
fuck Attack on. No, anyway. I watched Alien 1 and 2 like back to back, and I had seen the first one before, but I had never seen Aliens before. But you guys had talked about how, because I don't know, originally I thought the first one was pretty fucking good, but you both said, or maybe all of you said, that Aliens was better than the first one, and yeah, I get it. It's
Aliens goes so
Pretty
hard.
good.
yeah, I get it. Yeah, it was pretty fucking good.
I was the first one on rewatch because I've only watched it like maybe twice, so I should probably watch it again. But I think I liked the first one more just for its like ambiance.
Yeah,
but
I mean they're
Aliens
definitely different.
is more
Like
entertaining,
Aliens
obviously.
is like more open world. I mean they're actually like doing shit. It's like way I don't know,
Just guns and
way more
shit.
shit. Yeah, larger cast. Yeah, larger setting. Because I mean the first one they're basically just on the ship the whole fucking time.
Right.
Which
Kinda
is like
slower.
it. I mean yeah, they're kind of just two different things.
Right.
For sure.
But yeah.
That's cool though.
They both have
Getting
their
the,
charm about them. It's just the second one watching it, at least for me, like all the way to the end with the big reveal of the practical alien. I was just like, this movie fucks so hard. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's James
Yeah, I
Cameron
started
all his
watching
90s
like
glory or whatever the fuck.
because like I didn't know like what the second one actually was called, so I watched the first Alien, and then I started watching Alien Resurrection, and I got like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah,
This is not like
That's a jump, bro. That's like
yes.
that's 4 movies away. Holy shit.
So I just never went back to it, and I don't think I'm gonna.
No,
Like,
that's fucking terrible.
That's fair.
yeah.
That's I
it's
mean,
funny. I actually just watched all the aliens, like all the way Prometheus and all them, the ones after that,
everybody's
which I
getting
think
it.
those still hold up. But
Yeah.
Prometheus is pretty damn
I like
good
it.
in my opinion.
even Covenant's good. I mean,
I don't mind
haters are gonna
Covenant.
hate, but it's good.
So like
So-
I guess like it is all just one universe. All those movies are technically connected. Like Prometheus and Alien Covenant are connected to like the originals.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
Because I guess like
cool-esque.
I don't know, after watching like Alien 1 and 2, like it seems more like I don't know, in my opinion it seemed more like Prometheus and Alien Covenant were just like remaking them. But
Well,
I mean,
Prometheus is kind of like the origin story
Yeah.
of the aliens.
And it
So
was trying to like
mean,
copy beats.
I
of
guess
the
like
movies,
Alien
you know?
Covenant is just like kind of similar to like the first Alien movie, I guess. But like I don't
Yeah.
know.
it is.
Prometheus is like a little bit more original and weird and out there. Alien
Yeah.
Covenant
Yeah.
feels like they
Yeah,
just fell
true.
back into rhythms that were safe and like made that movie.
Mhm.
Prometheus is the better of the two, but I still think Alien Covenant is just a fine movie.
It has
Like,
moments.
I
Yeah.
had a
Oh,
good
yeah.
time watching it.
Michael Fassbender making out with himself.
I'll do the
fingering.
Uh,
Classic line. Never forget it.
Yeah.
Any other
Yeah,
good shit to talk
Other than
about?
that,
or
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
save
don't
it for
really think
next
I have
week.
too much more. Well, I guess I watched the first episode of the new season of Invincible.
Me too.
Ah, I
I,
have not
I
yet.
liked it.
I
I
liked it
thought
too.
it was going off. And then also I finished up the Gen V show. And like originally I was kind of like whatever, but the last 2 episodes of the season are actually like pretty fucking good. And like the like real world consequences for like the actual boys show. I mean it like kind of heats
Connects.
shit up. Like shit is kind of going down. Like so
Alright.
I'm
or
gonna
like
start
I
it soon,
mean
I
the
think.
repercussions of the show are kind of like
Real,
a big
yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
So
It sounds like
Okay.
you have to watch Gen V in order to understand the next season of The Boys. At least is what I was reading.
I could see it
Okay.
based
The
on
Boys
the,
takes
the
place like a
repercussions.
day after Gen V, like the next season. So
Let's see.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'll
They're
get
pulling
to
a
that
Disney
one.
Plus on you.
It kind of sucks because like I wish you didn't have to watch the whole fucking season just
Yeah.
to get to the last 2 episodes. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean whatever.
I'll watch it. I've heard a couple people say similar things about how it's like level. It's not. I don't know if it's not on the same level as the boys, but it's like a good enough show to watch with the boys. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you'll I don't know find it entertaining.
Yeah.
Damn,
And then yeah, other than
so
that,
much shit to watch.
I don't think I've been watching too much more.
I finished Scrubs, so I'll probably go back to Friends.
Oh,
now
hell
that I
yeah.
don't have two
I
massive.
finally finished Scrubs.
Yeah, it was honestly I didn't
Wait,
mind
wait.
like those. Later
So like
seasons
you
back
didn't
then, so.
watch the actual last season, right?
I did. I think. Yeah.
Spin-off
With,
season.
like,
Like the one
Yeah.
with Oh,
like
gotcha.
Dave Franco and like the next
Yeah.
and like JD and has kind of like moved to.
Well,
a
I
different-
guess you had to, right?
Yeah, I felt like I should.
close it
I
out.
mean, yeah, and they weren't horrible. I thought like I expected a lot worse, to be honest. Just like the way you guys talked about it, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be bad.
I mean, how the fuck did they just get to a whole new school? They're just teachers now?
Yeah,
That
is
makes
true.
no
That
sense.
is
Like-
true. That was weird that they were teaching randomly. But I don't know. It still had like the same tone and like it. Like the characters were still like they felt like real characters. So I was like, all right, it's not horrible. But now JD and Turk's story, like and yeah, I don't know. It tied everyone up pretty well, like the main cast from the earlier seasons. So goddamn good show, man. Good show.
That one gets you in the feels throughout.
Some good
Yeah,
shit.
it does. It's good. But I did watch. I blasted through Shorzy, that
Hey,
the Letterkenny spinoff.
you like it?
Good, dude. I do like it. Yeah,
it's not bad.
it's
got
funny.
it's got the same Letterkenny style here and there,
Yeah.
obviously, but like
Yeah.
Shorzy at least like has like a narrative, like it's got a plot attached. So
It's got pretty good heart too. It's got like
Yeah.
a similar heart to like I would say the earlier Letterkenny seasons had.
yeah, for
So,
sure.
pretty enjoyable. Dude, I watched the first season of that and I could not. I had to rewatch it because I was like, first of all, I just like couldn't understand what they were saying half the time.
Yeah, like I feel like that show, I have to like, I don't know, I just have to like get in the zone to understand
Yeah.
like how they fucking talk. Because like,
Yeah,
it's
a
just,
Canadian slang,
thick.
like
Yeah.
yeah. So, but once I kind of like got the way they were communicating, I was like, okay, and I got more of the jokes. I was like, all right, this is good shit.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
like that rapid fire
Yeah.
comedy.
It's an easy watch
But-
in my opinion too. It kind of just like
Yeah.
breezes by when you watch it.
Yeah, I flew through it the first 2 seasons easy.
Cool.
But yeah, I'll probably get back on the Friends train since you guys are back into it, and
I'll be
jazz.
fucking done by next week at this pace, dude. I've been
Oh,
going crazy on it.
Yeah.
Cook through them.
Yeah.
I watch it.
Yeah.
I watch it every year. And it's just like pretty much like 4 weeks and you're done.
Yeah. Quick.
I do
Let's
that.
keep moving.
I could do that.
Well, talk next week then about some new movies, some new shows.
Yes, sir. Oh,
Yeah.
are we seeing the Marvels, guys?
Oh
Fuck.
god, I forgot that was coming out. Shit.
Should we bring that and bring the corner back? The dunk corner?
Disney Duck Corner.
I don't even want to. Like, I just,
right.
it doesn't even feel good anymore. Like,
That's
I
yeah,
used to
it's
get
just
some
such
enjoyment
numb.
out of it, but
Right.
like,
We've
now
beat
I
it.
just-
It's
It's low
enough.
blow at this
There's
point.
nothing left. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
you know, I
I'm good.
was reading an article like a couple weeks ago about how the article was saying that Disney actually like manufactured their downfall of Marvel now, and I'm just like, go fuck yourself. No fucking way, dude. Your movies are just doing bad now. Like,
Yeah.
shit went off
And,
the
like,
rails. Like,
Oh,
it's just
for the plan, sure.
yeah. Like, what the
After,
fuck,
like,
dude?
The past year and a half, 2 years of them defending the fuck out of Disney. Now the mainstream media is like, Bob Iger doesn't do anything, even though he resurrected himself. It's like, where you guys been? This has been going on for like a year,
Yeah.
2 years. You
Yeah.
fucking, oh my god. Yeah.
It all seemed like a good idea when they were making those TV shows, but that was the
Yeah.
signal. That was the beginning of the end, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really
for-
was.
for everything.
Yeah.
So,
Like, WandaVision was good. After that, I don't think any of them have actually been
WandaVision was,
good.
I would say, probably the only planned out TV show that they had, and then they just realized that they wanted to do shows. They didn't know what that
Yeah.
meant or what that like the stories meant for that. They just wanted
And the
shows.
worst part is that you have to watch like 500 hours of something in order to keep up with the next movie coming out.
Yeah.
Like fucking
And-
homework. Like I don't want to do
Yeah.
fucking homework.
And you know,
too
it's
much,
kind of
yeah.
interesting too because like I was thinking about this like last week. They want you to watch all of their movies so you can tell what's going on in like the whole connected universe and shit. But like people who read comics don't read every fucking line of comics to know what's going on. So I mean, like, I don't know. Like if you, I guess like I'm just like drawing the parallels between the two because like
Yeah.
you kind of watch or you kind of read what you want to read, and in this situation, like watching these movies, like I guess like it doesn't work the same way. They don't want it to work the same way, I guess,
Mhm.
but like I don't know. It
Yeah.
just
I think
Weird
they
to think
wanted
that it
the
wouldn't work the
shows
same way, you
to
know,
like
like
be like
yeah.
that, where it's like you can read them or you can watch them if you want, but they're not gonna. Oh, they're not gonna. You don't need to watch
yeah.
them to watch the movies.
Right,
That's what I
right.
think their plan was, but
Yeah, because I think I read that like online something that they were like trying to go back to like the more like contained personal stories with heroes and stuff,
right.
which I think is like what they should have done after Endgame. They should have sort of like reset and been like, let's not try and fucking stretch everybody across everything again.
Yeah.
But
Dude, you know, like with all those the shakeup of like directors and whoever the fuck is working on the Daredevil show, they're still like releasing this like Echo show, I guess. I think it's like probably
Yeah.
soon. And I'm just like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, I don't know. I'm not going to watch it. But then again, like, I'm probably not going to continue to watch any
Yeah.
Disney shit. So, I mean,
I
like,
think they're just
I
putting
think
out
we're all
the
a
stuff
different
they've already worked
demographic
on.
here.
right.
They like
The
already had it
fucking
basically in the can.
the ego and the pride on these guys, like they fired all the writers for the Daredevil show and then hired the Punisher writer for the Daredevil. Like, why not just get the original Daredevil writer
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
Like,
What
They
the
why
burnt
fuck?
that
you
bridge.
guys can't? You guys are just so ashamed of yourselves and so like above that you're gonna be like, no, I'm gonna hire the Punisher writer and stuff
Yeah.
instead of. Oh my
It's
god,
a combination of
we,
that,
we didn't
and
make a
not
mistake. Our decisions are
right,
calculated.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
Know what we're doing.
stupid,
yeah,
Yes.
fucking stupid.
yeah.
Well,
I think that's
anyway.
enough. I think that's enough dunking.
yeah,
for
we
me.
dunked it.
Sure,
Fucking dunked that
we
shit
did.
hard.
We got the dunks in.
Yeah, but talk next week. Talk some more movie, TV industry stuff. Thanks for listening if you guys were. And we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.